All right, welcome everybody to No Outside Food Allowed. We're here to talk about all the biggest news and entertainment. This week, there's really only one thing, and that's Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. We will be spoiling this one, so maybe you should go watch it before you listen to us. But seriously, if you haven't watched it, I don't know what you're doing. Go watch it right now. Anyway, also we'll cover episode 2 of Westworld in our continued coverage of the show. Then we'll get into a little more in-depth with LvlUp Expo, which we'll be going to next weekend, and Cinemacon that was just in town. As always, I'm Adam. Today I'll be the Zordon of this group of Rangers. With me, I got Sam Lim.
The Red Ranger. Thumbs up, all cheesy.
The leader of the group here. We got Chris Felix.
I'll go Blue Ranger.
Eddie McGowan.
I'll be the Black Ranger.
Of course.
And Chris Gagne.
I'm going to be Bulk and Skull.
Oh, wow.
Nice. The old school villain rep.
I was hoping
Yeah,
you were the
guys.
Alpha.
Yeah, just, I pop up for comic relief and to cause mischief. And,
Just get your butt kicked for a minute. And then,
yeah, thanks for letting me take last week off. I appreciate that.
Yeah. We missed
Not needed for that episode. I missed you guys. It's hard to listen and not be on it.
Right?
I know, right?
It's not fun.
So what have we been doing this week besides Avengers? And I've been playing a lot of God of War.
you. I think we've all been doing the same.
Playing a little God of War, working out. What?
Getting
Oh, yeah.
buff.
I'm trying to understand life after your Infinity War. Trying to
So good.
I did have a workout session with Chris here.
Yeah.
And you broke him?
We had a fun. What?
It's the first day I can fully fold my arms back and forth.
It was lightweight, guys.
I know, I'm weak. I'm soft. I'm sorry.
No pain, no gain.
This is the worst it's going to be. It's only going to get better from here.
That's right.
Dude, like, no kidding. My
Got that
chest was,
somewhere.
like, just hurting, like, the entire week. Like, and my cats like to wake me up in the morning, so you think they're light,
When they
step
jump on
on
your
this
chest.
sore chest, like, oh, my God.
Yeah. Hey, a couple weeks in, though, you'll be feeling great.
I know. It's just a shitty start. It's going to get better.
How about you, Gagne, with your week off?
I took the last week off to run my first 5K with my father-in-law, which was fantastic here in town. Yeah.
Nice. What was your time?
We won't talk about time because I was running with my father-in-law, who made me stop at one point and take a picture by the river during the race. So,
It was so pretty.
God bless him. I should have known it was coming, but we're not talking time. Although it was a lot of fun. Of course, afterwards,
Nice.
it's like big street festival with free beer and yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, added content at the end there. Sweet.
Oh
I like the
yeah,
free beer part.
Yeah.
That seems like a good reason to run.
right? Knowing there's
Good
free
reason
beer
to
at the
get to
end?
the finish line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They do that with Tough Mudder, too. They give you, like, a free beer, like, once you're all done with everything. But, like, honestly, by the time
that's
I
like
was done,
20
I really
miles, though,
didn't
right?
care. It was about 11 miles. But, like, after that and 20-odd obstacles and getting electrocuted twice and, swimming through a river,
yeah.
I didn't really care for the beer.
No.
So I wanted to go home.
Were you like, just give him a medal? Give him a medal so he
He's
can
just
go home.
mad. He's just upset.
No, it was great fun. Don't get me wrong. But me and my crew were just sitting there, like, looking at each other like, I'm done. Let's just go home.
Hey, when you guys mentioned inviting me to this one, you didn't say there's being tased.
It's light
A light
electricity running through
I
your
like his
I
body.
used to be an
quotations, though.
electrician,
Look
but
at
I
his
still don't
quotation,
enjoy it.
light.
You remember when you used to lick a 9
Batter?
volt? Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that on your body. Like, all over the
Somebody
place.
record Eddie going through that, please. I need to see that.
Yes.
Yeah, you go on YouTube. You can see all kinds of clips from it. It's
No,
pretty
I want to see
intense.
Eddie specifically.
Specifically.
I used to be an electrician, so I'm not like a stranger to that feeling, but I
Oh,
don't
dude.
enjoy it.
If they had the one where you got to crawl on it, like through on your belly, like, that one's the worst. Because like when you run through it, like that's fine. You can go through it as fast as you can run. When you're on your belly, there's no way out but forward or back. So you get shocked as fast as you crawl through it. That sucks.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that one knocked me
That
back. to
sounds
earth.
like
And you paid them to run, right?
Yeah,
that's-
it was
that's
about
what I'm
that
saying.
moment where I'm like, this is my day off. What the hell am I doing?
This sounds like fun for somebody that likes Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think it shaped my bloodlust. Bloodborne.
I love Bloodborne, but I suddenly don't have an interest in going.
No, that's it. It's gonna be fun.
Super fun.
Did you all partake in this, Gunny? Join them in Tough Mudder?
I would happy to join in. It doesn't sound like a blast, but I would still enjoy that beer at the end.
Sounds like an
You
electrical
get a
blast.
free beer, quote
God.
unquote.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's yeah.
Looking forward to the free beer at the end. All right,
Stay
so
tuned for that.
let's jump into Westworld. Episode 2 is tonight.
Damn.
Pretty crazy.
I think this episode had a lot of flashpoints or flash forward. Sitting there trying to figure out scenes from the past, present, and future.
They jump around a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of jumping around, but I liked how William, the Man in Black, actually has a backup plan and he's ready to go launch that. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Are we talking about young William or old William?
Both of them, I guess, because the young William for foreseeing the future, right? And old William has like a first aid kit hidden in the wall, ready for him. Just
That was
in
pretty
case.
cool. I'm wondering if that came after he got shot the first time and he had to suture himself up, right? So he's like, all right, I can't be doing that anymore. First aid kit.
I enjoyed young William now that we can see him at like the
They showed-
post Dolores, and he's cool as the like becoming the bad guy kind of like thing.
He's transitioning
Yeah,
from good to bad, Black Hat.
Yeah.
I like they showed a lot of scenes in the real world,
Yeah.
like outside of the park, I guess. A lot of backstory with just the company. I noticed they called, what's his name, Logan, Mr. Delos. I'm guessing that was his father, the old man.
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah. That is the guy.
Yeah, I think William was talking to him before about the daughter, right? Isn't that-
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. It's still like very unclear, exactly where everything's going, but I'm most interested like in the backstory, the whole business side of it for some reason. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I like young Williams kind of upcoming, his rise to power. I think that's really cool. Then the Man in Black, just having a blast out there, even near death, getting shot in the arm. I love it that he's still laughing about it in the end.
I like how also when they told him, we're already here at Westworld, he's like, what? He's in shock that the whole
when
room
the
was
private,
all host.
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
The demo was pretty sweet.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that not the guy who was in the Punisher?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Exactly.
I had that little epiphany watching the show.
Yeah,
like I said
exactly.
it out loud. I
Chris
was
said
like,
it right.
whoa, Billy Russo.
Totally. My issue with the telling the story of young William is the bouncing around. I think I had more of an issue with the technical aspect of this episode. I was like all the fade to blacks and back in and what storyline are we following. They revealed a lot of characters, and so sometimes the episodes can't cover everybody. And this was one of those where you didn't get much from Thandie Newton's character. You didn't get much from
I noticed that.
Jeffrey, Bernard. You didn't get much from his episode, and so I
We
find
had
myself.
We had one line from Maeve.
Right? They didn't.
Yeah.
That
They
group.
didn't show Bernard's story at all this time, right? It was all Arnold.
It was Arnold, this
yeah.
one.
Mhm.
He was younger Bernard, if you will. Real world Bernard. They showed a lot of new characters in this. Like they kind of went in depth of the blonde chick and how they kind of sent her outside of the park even before we even knew they were hosts. So I'm kind of curious that like how many hosts have made it outside of the park on business trips. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Do you think there's
Showing
some still
off.
out there like in the world
Oh,
doing
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think Gagne got
Cylons,
perfect
man.
though, because that was the thing that was kind of bothering me too. This episode, the technical aspect, like Gagne said, the whole jumping around and like there was so much of it to where usually in an episode, right, you do 2-3 times, there's a lot of meaning behind it, but they just kept jumping in this episode, and then I wanted to get more in depth of the characters. This time we just kind of saw the business side of things, which is still cool too, but I'm wondering how much more in-depth episodes we'll get. Like
Well,
in
this one
episode
seemed
3.
like more of like a setup episode, I guess.
It's more background filling, with pretty much what happened from William's first, stay falling in love with Dolores in his stay at Westworld, and then leading up to him being the full-on Man in Black. What happened between now and then. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun storyline. I like the guy who plays young William too.
Right? Yeah, it's so weird seeing him in this role when the only thing I've known him from is Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Milk Brothers.
God.
It's like for real. Because we'll go watch him just in any one of those episodes that he makes an appearance. He's
God,
the
he's funny.
grossest, just like nastiest pair of brothers. Dude, like they show up just all sweaty and in robes and always asking for milk. And they're
always
just
drinking milk.
disgusting. But so yeah, seeing him here all cleaned up and being this intimidating businessman, it's like
Definitely a different
it's
side
like
of
night and
his
day.
acting.
But I really do love what he's doing.
Yeah,
I
he's
really
pulling
am
it off
impressed by
really
him.
well.
It's
definitely.
Jimmy Simpson, by the way.
Jimmy
Okay, it's good to have a name.
I noticed that Maeve stopped and talked to Dolores for about 5 seconds, and I thought they were going to team up right there, and then all of a sudden they were like, nope.
As soon as I saw them crossing paths, I knew they were gonna butt heads because they're both. She got her independence separately
they're like
from
both the leaders. Really,
yeah,
Dude,
exactly. Right.
Kind of Magneto Xavier sort of
Yes,
thing. Like,
totally.
Yes, very.
it's like her brotherhood of evil hosts.
Who's Xavier in that?
It's kind of hard to say.
I was like trying to think. I'm like,
I'd
they're probably more like both
Dolores-
Magneto.
Yeah, I was gonna
In a way,
say
I mean,
because Danny Newton's definitely more Magneto-ish.
Dolores kind of ends every episode on like a like she's kind of turning evil.
yeah, she's definitely going down
crazy.
And
the.
then you have poor Teddy who's just like,
Yeah.
is this really what you want to do?
I
Dolores,
mean, I just asked what's for dinner, but okay.
Dolores is definitely going the renegade route.
Renegade.
Oh, and then freaking that scene too. I wonder how is it that the robot that's following the current William right now, how is he not like persuaded to be for the robots and not for the humans? You know, like he doesn't mind being his partner. And then when he's trying to capture all of the robots to join him,
And they all killed themselves. That's just
Yeah,
crazy.
well,
That was
right
an
there.
awesome scene with the guy
That was
from
awesome.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad.
It was a great shot, but like, what made them shoot themselves? I kind of
It's
missed
something
that part.
about the game that Williams
The programming.
The
This is the
He-
game
he was-
past the game, right?
Yeah. He was going to get them to help him,
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
that would make his journey easier,
Right.
and he's not
They
allowed
were-
to make it easier, and that's
Okay.
why he gets frustrated
There's
and
still
shoots
some
the thing.
programming in there.
I started spacing out a little bit when the guy just kept monologuing. I'm like, and then all of a sudden everybody shot themselves. I'm like,
Oh.
that happened.
Yeah. Did everybody notice the Chicken Man? How he was only in there for 5 minutes before he died from
Yeah, what-
Breaking Bad?
That's what I was saying. Yeah, he's Gus from Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah.
that's
Right?
true.
Holy crap.
But I was like,
know
oh, they're
but
introducing a new character, and then they
Yeah,
killed him, and I was like,
exactly.
oh, what? He's got to come back, right?
yeah, of course. Maybe
Such a
come
good
across
actor.
him and- yeah, that should be interesting.
I loved it.
Good stuff.
I feel like it's just building up, so I
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Yeah, that was
That'd be
definitely
I like a nice tease.
build-up episode.
I'm ready to see the other worlds. I kind of feel like they're kind of hinting at that with the recruiting of the army. That maybe they're going to go get some samurai.
I've noticed they
Right.
ended both episodes on like a puzzle piece. You know, they showed you the
tiger.
dead hosts in whatever that
Yeah, the little-
lake
the little
was.
water bay thing.
Yeah, and then the flash of whatever this weapon she thinks she's going to that
that
William took
William
her to.
built, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, this will be very interesting.
Lots of theories coming. It's a pretty crazy show. Anything else, guys?
Still loving it. Still
fun.
loving it.
Yeah.
Has anybody recognized any songs? It's the one thing I've noticed. It's
You know, as they were playing some of the piano music, I was trying to figure out
Right.
if it was anything.
I'm waiting for like just to recognize the song, and I haven't recognized anything.
Yeah.
It's
I
Not quite yet.
I usually don't pay attention to it. Like it's like in there, but I'm like trying to stare at people's faces and like, who's the secret host in this place?
a lot of the recent songs that they redo, it takes me a second to realize, that it's actually a current song. But yeah, I haven't figured that one out in this
look
episode
that up.
anyway. So good times though. All right, so let's jump into Cinemacon. It was just in Vegas. A lot of cool stuff coming out. A lot of weird stuff coming out. A Venom trailer that was interesting. What did you guys think?
I enjoyed it. I usually don't watch trailers, but once
I
again,
watched
these
this one.
people
Oh my God.
make me watch trailers.
We enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
We, as in the symbiotes.
Oh my god, that's the only thing I.
Oh, did you
Like
enjoy
the
that
cage
part?
about no. Honestly, like I kind of liked this trailer, though it's got me nervous at the same time. I mean, I don't mean to be a bitchy fanboy, but just I've got a real problem with Venom existing without Spider-Man. I mean,
Yes.
like the fact that it's this thing looks like a science experiment. It doesn't look like an alien. I mean, maybe it is. We don't know, but the reason Venom exists is for pure hatred of Spider-Man. That's why it exists. So this thing, I love the look of it. It's straight out of the comics. It looks fantastic. And he said "we." That's great. And
That
I
was
love
pretty
the
cool.
way the face came over. It's straight out of the comics. But again, I just I can't wait to see it. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just nervous. Very
know.
nervous about it.
Yeah. What do you think, Eddie? You're
everything-
nodding over there
no,
pretty
Pretty much
furiously.
everything he's saying, hopefully Spider-Man makes an appearance of some kind, and I'm hoping that
Spoiler.
somehow
Spoiler, he's dead.
it could take place.
Oh,
It
much.
could- I know. Like
I don't want to
right
go,
there.
sir.
Oh my god! No.
Save it. Save it.
No.
Save it.
You fucking say that line. I
People can
will-
listen to it right now. I want people to listen to this part of the show. Save it.
Oh my god!
Sorry, I jumped in.
Sorry, am I making you
I
cry?
want to talk about it too. Anyways.
Something Venom trailer good.
Oh my god, that's so
Cinemacon rocked. Fuck you guys.
Oh, no, there was a lot took place too this week at Cinemacon.
All right, other than Venom.
Oh yeah, they also dropped the mysterious trailer for J.J. Abrams' new movie called Overlord. So it takes place during the World War. It's action, horror, and mystery combined. So the folks that were there at the Cinemacon this year that saw it are trying to piece it together. It was connected to the whole Cloverfield picture itself.
Is it, or is that a theory?
The theory right now,
Okay.
fan theory. But you know Abrams, he likes to keep people guessing all the time.
I'll watch anything Abrams does.
So you said this is
check it
supposed to
out.
be part of the Cloverfield series,
not
or
sure.
it's rumored?
It's a theory.
He wouldn't answer the question.
It is.
So,
Always.
yeah, I heard something
is.
did get announced, like the next sequential part, I guess, or it's an official sequel to the original movie.
Yeah,
or something?
so there was like this confusion back when, what was the last one that they released straight to Netflix?
The God Particle.
Cloverfield
yeah,
Paradox.
Paradox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was confusion that when that came out that was what this actually was, but they confirmed that they had actually done two separate things, and this is connected in some way.
Gotcha.
They just didn't. They're keeping this one a lot more under wraps than they did with the Netflix one.
All right. Well, I'm excited to check it out.
That's pretty good.
What was it called again?
Overlord.
It's Overlord.
All right. Cool.
And then I made little notes about the show itself. Apparently, this week when they dropped the trailer to Mowgli, it didn't receive any warm receptions.
I heard it looked bad.
Yeah, a lot
It's
of
the
folks weren't
sequel
happy.
to Jungle Book that they're putting out because that made a crap ton of money. But obviously, this one hasn't been written, so this is a story about Mowgli. So apparently, it
Everyone's
didn't look
favorite
good.
part of Jungle Book.
Yeah, of course.
However, the one big movie that did make a good splash for the critics and the fans and everybody else was definitely Tom Cruise and the Mission Impossible Fallout. The people there at the show got to see a little bit of the movie, and apparently it came out with good reviews.
I heard that Tom Cruise actually carried the crowd, is what I read. So
Yes.
surprising.
Really?
Yeah, maybe he's getting people more on his side again. I like Mission Impossible, so he can keep doing those.
I haven't seen the last two, but this one looks cool.
They're good.
I like the way Henry Cavill's coming out in this. He looks like
Well, it looks like he has a strong mustache too.
yeah. I was like, I want to see if it's worth the mustache.
Exactly.
On the trailer alone, I mean, the trailer's done really well, and I like that they
Oh,
added
it's so
Henry
good.
Cavill. I'm excited for it.
I love that
I'm with
shot
you,
of
Adam.
him.
I think there's so much fun.
Like getting buff up.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah, in the
kinda-
restroom
when he's
he
muscling up. Yeah. dude.
That's a great shot. Also on the Disney lineup is The Lion King. They showed 3 minutes of the Circle of Life scene. Apparently everybody loved that. And then they also showed Dumbo, a little bit of that, but they didn't show him flying, which apparently everybody was disappointed.
Did they show anything about
but-
Aladdin?
I didn't hear anything about Aladdin.
Yeah.
Surprising
neither.
about that. Yeah.
I need to see
yeah.
some Genie Will Smith stuff before I can
Yeah,
get
to
on
see if
board.
that's gonna be worth it.
That's gonna make or break it for me.
I think I'm with you on that one, dude.
Oh man,
That's
I
gonna
didn't
make or
think
break his
about that.
career.
I don't think
He's
so.
had a good career.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll be fine.
He can just pick and choose now. Like
I mean, he survived After Earth, so he's fine.
Right?
so also they had a trailer for Glass. M. Night Shyamalan's
I saw the poster
sequel.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks very
That should be
comic
cool.
booky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
yeah.
colorful.
Looks like they're gonna bring in what's his name from
Split.
you know what Split.
Oh,
Thank you.
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
I
The
forgot
Horde.
that was the name of the
Is that what they
movie,
called
and
him?
I was just trying to remember. Yeah, Split personality.
There you go. Split. Makes sense. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Also, they had a trailer for Halloween, the new one with Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. So
So this is like an official sequel to the original or something like that?
No, like to wherever her like storyline ended, like they're racing. What was she in H2O where they kind of
Yeah,
killed her
H2O
off?
where she died. She died
Right.
in H2O.
So they're kind of erasing
Resurrection.
that and going back to like Halloween 2 was the last one that she was officially in before I think they made H2O.
Well, I'm curious. I want
we'll
to see
see.
it. I'm always a big fan of the Halloween movies. And Michael Myers is like always one of my favorite slashers, I guess.
So also some Oscar-worthy stuff that was put out. Some musicals. A Star Is Born, starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, supposed to be Oscar bait. Bohemian Rhapsody, biopic about Freddie Mercury.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that I want to see. I forget the actor's name, but the guy from Mr. Robot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rami Malek.
Yeah, Rami Malek or something like that. But yeah, I've seen pictures of him. Dude, he looks just like Freddie Mercury. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Another one about Neil Armstrong called First Man, starring Ryan Gosling. That's Oscar bait.
He'll
And
be
then
pretty.
Mary Queen of Scots, starring Saoirse. Yeah, Saoirse Ronan.
What?
Yeah, Saoirse Ronan. She was the one.
I love this.
Brooklyn and
Help me out here, Gagne.
She was also she was nominated for Brooklyn 2 years ago, and then she was nominated for Lady Bird this year.
She was in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay,
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got a hard name.
She
She's
was
Irish.
the chick that was being rescued. She was the big Greek girl.
Okay.
But Mary Queen of Scots, she's already been nominated 2 or 3 times. So
Yeah, there goes more Oscar bait.
yep, exactly. Another one I thought was kind of interesting. It had Jennifer Garner as her comeback here. It's called Peppermint. It's basically her daughter gets killed and she gets revenge on all the people that killed her daughter. So it's like Taken or all those
Or
kind of
John
things.
Wick or
John
Atomic
Wick.
Blonde.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So,
Let's go.
interesting.
I like them.
I like
so
Jennifer
keep
Garner.
bringing
So.
them.
Yeah, everyone loves her from Alias. Duh.
I'm in the minority there. I can't stand her.
Oh,
No. I didn't say I liked her. I just said I like those type of movies. Where
Oh.
they get revenge.
The revenge movie.
I was like, I loved Atomic Blonde. I just saw that recently. Man, that was
Yeah.
very entertaining.
I thought that was pretty good.
Definitely.
Good
It was
fight
a good
scenes.
movie.
Anything else that you guys saw that was of worth?
So there was that Will Ferrell, Holmes and Watson Sherlock Holmes spoof. Apparently the
I love
footage.
some Will Ferrell.
I do too, but apparently the footage wasn't very good.
Oh, don't surprise.
They said that there's like no laughs in the trailer, and I'm like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who plays Watson?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I have to find that one out too. I didn't get that one.
I thought Watson was being played by John C. Reilly.
You might be right, Sam. That sounds.
that kind of makes sense.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I just got a great image of that. I want it.
Felix will be wanting.
I would love to
one
see
of
that
the people
poster.
that laughs.
Hell yeah.
What I'm visually in my mind right now?
That is
they're doing
correct.
The
It is
Step
John C.
Brothers
Reilly.
poster,
John C. Reilly. There
Yeah.
you go.
That's great.
and then they're
Step Brothers,
dressed
but-
up as just Sherlock
Yeah.
and
They got like the
Yeah.
cap, right? The corn cob
Oh,
pipe.
that's so perfect. I love it. I'm sorry. That just made my
God.
day.
I'm sorry, I'm biased. I'm gonna watch that movie. I'm probably gonna love it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will too. I know it's gonna be bad.
I'll watch,
but I don't care.
I'll watch it and then
We'll make
roll
it a
my
date,
eyes a lot.
Chris. We'll make it
Sweet.
a date.
Mandate.
Yes.
Oh gosh. All right, so next week we're all going to a convention. Level Up Expo. Gonna be here in Vegas. Lots of cosplay, lots of anime, lots of tournaments, lots of
Yes.
games. What are you guys looking forward to?
I wrote down a couple on my tournaments lists. I'm keeping an eye out at the Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z,
Oh,
and then also Super Smash Bros. Melee, because they have Super Smash different
the
versions.
new one
Yeah, yeah.
and the old one.
Want to see the
Melee's
old
the best
school one.
anyway.
Yeah.
So
Want to see how that plays out.
I have a particular taste at these conventions.
you mean the
We
cosplayers?
know why you're there. We know.
Oh, jeez.
Certain lovely ladies in
Our goal is not to
outfits?
get kicked out next week. That's where our goal is. It's not to get kicked out.
I do enjoy cosplayers, male and female. It just happens to be more female.
Well, hopefully parking will be easier this year too, because usually it's held at the Cashman Center every year. This is the first year it's held at Las Vegas Convention Center, the one in Paradise. So it'll be easier getting in and out for sure. And I like the map so far. Like for those that are listening, you can go look at the website LvlUp.com, and there's a layout of all the maps where the wrestling ring is, the exotic cars.
I forgot about the
gaming
wrestling
tournaments.
ring. There's a
Yes.
live action,
Live action
wrestling.
luchador, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
so cool.
And then when you're at the convention itself, there's just side quests to the convention itself where you have to take certain pictures, certain selfies.
Oh, it's like a scavenger hunt?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a scavenger hunt. And you get a free prize at the end.
That's
Do we know
cool.
what the prize is?
It's something nice, like a free shirt, bottle of water, something to keep you.
Apollo water? I'd be real upset, honestly, if I hit Apollo.
Bring extra money though. They have some cool ass shirts. Like last
I
year, they
know.
had.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I always make the mistake of going broke every time
Yeah,
I go
that's
to
what
Comic Con.
every single time.
I know. I always want to buy a lot of art, and there's really cool like little statues and mannequins and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, t-shirt deals, like you said.
yeah.
I'm gonna buy stuff.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the voice actors. Did you talk about any of them? Like, there's gonna be some Overwatch voice actors. The voice actor from Lucio, who does Lucio, Mercy, and Zenyatta.
That's the
Oh,
one.
right on.
Yeah.
No, Symmetra. Sorry, Symmetra.
Still cool.
One of the girls.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Could be cool. I'm kind of interested in how they got into voice acting,
yeah,
or especially for Blizzard.
yeah.
Huge
Right.
company.
Is there any other notable?
There was it Team 4 Star?
Team 4-star. Yeah, if you're if
The
you enjoy
DBZ
the Dragon
abridged.
Ball Z abridged,
Yes.
and I love those guys, so I'm hoping that I can meet them.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So, all right. So, what is Dragon Ball Z Abridged for people who don't know?
So it's like they take like 4 or 5 episodes at a time, and they just basically voice over their own lines, and it's something usually terrible.
Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. Yes.
If you've ever gotten really drunk or just really upset and just started voice acting your own kind of show with the volume off, that's basically what this is.
Yeah, Dodge Gohan is probably the most used thing in the thing. They keep a tracker of how many times Krillin is owned on the in the series.
Did they just like randomly insert Krillin dying in places?
Sometimes
Yeah.
like, they do kind of do their own thing, like when they fight the Saiyans, the Nappa or whatever, he throws like a Pokemon ball at Chaozu. I'm not a Pokemon. I'm Chaozu. Did you hear that, Vegeta? He's a Chaozu.
That's pretty clever. Also, there's going to be a cosplay contest, which we're going to check out. I think that's Sunday night. We'll try and throw up some videos, some pictures.
Sharpening all the content we can.
Ganya, what do you want us to look for? Anything specific?
Just lots of pics of Eddie being thrown out by security for.
Guarantee.
I'm actually just thoroughly going to enjoy hearing you guys' feedback from it. Looking forward to getting out there myself for a con. What do you want to call this? I guess
Evo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gonna be
Evo
out in
specifically, but
August for Evo.
Fighting game
Giant tournament.
It's
Yeah.
the biggest one that there is.
Have you guys seen the Luxor recently, by the way?
Oh,
It's
all
got a
the
giant esports sticker on
Esports
it.
written all over
Yeah.
it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that where the
actual
stadium
tournament?
is?
I believe so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
One of them anyway.
One of 'em. Yeah, they-
There's a
they-
couple now. I think MDM's
Yeah.
got one.
they're adding them
Yeah.
because they're
getting crazy.
big money makers. It's
Yes, sir. All right. Anything else to Level Up Expo, fellas? We're gonna
forward to it.
thoroughly enjoy that
tight.
next weekend. Yeah, we'll
Yep.
get you
Excited.
some more.
We'll get some
info.
content coming your way.
Yes. Yes. All right. For what we've all been waiting for.
What?
What's that movie? What did we all? What was
That one movie?
That one movie?
That
Batman
hurt
versus Superman.
feelings?
Batman vs Superman.
Oh,
with
Justice
that.
League.
Leave it alone.
Justice League, right?
No.
Nice.
Just
So
gonna go
Avengers
behind the
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War.
Yep. The war
Literally.
stopped because his mom was
Spoilers.
Martha.
Spoilers.
Because there's
Start
Martha.
now.
Good call on that.
Yeah,
If
lots
you
of
haven't
spoilers.
watched it, holy crap.
That's your fault, not ours.
Hey, we're about to spoil the crap out of this movie.
Hold
So-
on, we're gonna give you 30 seconds. We'll wait with you. No, I'm just kidding.
So if you watched our last episode, we made predictions. And we thoroughly failed on all of them, I think.
Hey, I got
Except
one.
for maybe, Felix
What do you
had
mean
one
maybe?
anyway.
No, it happened. No, it
I
happened.
was asking, did you want to do the top 3 or just go straight to this one?
Oh, let's go. Let's save it after.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
okay.
get to,
We'll
we'll
close
get
out
to
with that.
After this battle.
So
I was dead on with the first 5 minutes.
people died in this
Oh, yeah.
movie. Holy shit. Like a
be
lot of
dead.
people. Like a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
We thought maybe Cap or maybe Iron Man would die. And neither of them did, but pretty much everybody else died.
Everybody but them.
The whole
two people-
OG crew is still
The
alive.
2 people that we guaranteed weren't gonna die died. Like
Pretty much. We said Spider-Man and Black Panther obviously weren't going to die because they had huge movies recently. Well, guess what? They're done.
dead.
But did
Wow.
they?
But
Well,
Listen,
okay.
I know.
Come on,
I know
they,
I know some
they
will be bad.
disappeared. That's
Let's get everybody's thoughts on it first. What's everybody's quick review on it?
on the movie or them dying?
number,
Well, just our take on the film as a whole. What's your number?
no, mine's
I-
a 9.5.
Nine
Wow,
and a half.
9.5, huh?
High marks.
Yeah,
Very high
I
marks.
really like the movie. Was just nonstop. Most like almost like a lot of the scenes could have been like the ends of other Marvel movies. So
2 hours and 40 minutes, by the way, longest one.
yeah,
I would say it didn't feel like that. It did feel like they kind of split up a 2-parter. It did feel a little bit fast in that Thanos collected all the stones in one movie.
Yeah.
But I did expect that ending.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel rushed. I loved all of it. All of it. It was everything I wanted it. Thanos came in and kicked ass. People died. I gave it a 9. Yeah.
Sam?
I saw it twice, and I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because it had everything I wanted, right? And I'm a sucker for like team ups. Like anytime like the Power Rangers do a crossover with some other superheroes, I'm like, oh man, that's crazy, right? But this one, it's like everyone's crossing over and helping each other out, and then just the tone of the situation itself, the repercussions finally, like it. I love this so much because it's bittersweet. it's so bittersweet because you invest in these characters for so long. You knew their background story. You're so attached to them, and to see the way it played out and the way it was done, you're like, oh man, you hit me in the heart, but in such a good way. Like one of my friend asked me, oh, how would you explain this movie? I'm like, remember that scene in Full Metal, the Chimera? And she's like, you just went there. I'm like, that's how this movie is. So go enjoy yourself.
The
She's
entire
like,
thing.
she's like, so how many percentage of that movie like that? I'm like, the whole
All of it.
thing. So she's like, okay, cool. I'll go watch it now.
Bring some tissues. What'd you think, Felix?
I don't know if it was that dark because that was some fucked up shit in full metal. So, but no, I did love this movie. Also, I give it a 9 even right now. I've only seen it once. I'm ready to see it again already. But no, I just had so much fun with this film. Like you said, Adam, it's the longest Marvel movie, but it went by so fast.
Oh,
like I was surprised when the credits came up. I was like, really? It's over. But no,
even
like,
the way the credit faded, right?
yeah, it just like it was very sort of a bittersweet ending, and that's kind of where I was sort of conflicted when I walked out because Civil War is still my number one. I'll say that right now. And I walked out grinning ear to ear like an idiot when I walked out of the movie. Like I loved it. I had so much fun. This one, I just walked out and just like, huh. It's like I didn't really know how to react right away, but I really thoroughly enjoy it. There's great character interaction, like just some of the new characters meeting other characters, like Thor and Rocket is just like some of my favorite stuff. Like Rabbit. I love that. That was like one of my favorite moments.
Captain of the ship, aren't you?
Yeah, just the pirate angel. Like I love that stuff. It was such like great like chemistry between all the characters, and that's really due to the 10 years of build up with all these characters. Like I guess it could have felt rushed. There wasn't really a lot of more character development for the ones we knew, but I don't really think we needed it. We've had so much
20
build up
movies
with them.
before it, right?
Yeah. So and obviously the story's not done. So we're gonna get more of the hero's perspective, I think, in the next film.
I don't share quite as much enthusiasm as you guys. It was fantastic, and I agree. It did not feel like it was 2.5 hours. When it actually ended, I was like, it was almost like being brought out of like an entertainment coma. I mean, I was just edge of my seat following along the whole time. I just think that some of the things that were done didn't make it as, I don't know, strong
epic
emotionally as Civil War or some of the other ones. And so I'd probably sit somewhere between an 8 and 8.5. There's some amazing moments in it. Like you said, the Rocket Thor interaction, like when he goes, there's so comic book scenes of just when he's running at everybody with the axe, and there's so much good to it, but I felt like there was so much interaction with so many characters that they couldn't get the full story in. And so I know there's another one coming, and I know there's more to come. I just didn't feel emotionally invested in what they did as far as deaths and erasing people from the storyline, because they're coming back. Like there's less stakes involved in that when you know that someone like Spider-Man's coming back. Like it's not.
So do you think this was like kind of like Westworld was more of a lead up to the next film?
I think so. I think this was a Thanos story. They've spent 10 years, teasing him, and so it did feel rushed in that he grabbed 5 stones all of a sudden in one movie, and it was like, well, I wish kind of now going back that they would have had him grab one here and there at the end of other movies. I would have loved to see Nova Corps battling Thanos, like. When he gets that stone, like they just fucking mention it like it's a bystander. It was an entire like part of Guardians. Like they didn't even show it. And I know that they can't because there's only so much you can contain. But there were things that I felt emotionally I was missing for it to be a perfect movie.
I feel like maybe they'll go back in maybe the Captain Marvel movie and go back over that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
they're bringing back Ronan the Accuser for Captain Marvel. He was a villain in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, so
okay.
We'll probably get some more fill-ins to that. But I totally see what you're saying there, Gagne. Like about some things being rushed and being omitted altogether. I think it's really hard to try to feed so much information into one film, and we already got so much information just in this one film alone. You pretty much got Thanos' full story arc. This is definitely his film.
I love that part.
Yeah, it was great. Like I love that you got more into his background, how he brought up Gamora, that scene where he's like talking to her as a little girl was beautiful, like talking about balance. And then in the end he won, and then you got to see him sort of kind of sit in his victory and kind of like sort of like.
Well, not only that, you actually see him in a bittersweet situation for the soul stone. And you're like, oh man. Cause like as soon as he was shedding tears, I understood he was shedding tears for her, but like, the way it played out, man, I thought it was crazy.
So that was interesting. Like that whole scene, like it made you want to root for Thanos, or at least it gives you like maybe a little bit of insight into how he feels. You know, like he's not necessarily thinking he's the bad guy, right? He knows there's limited resources in the universe, so it's overpopulated. We got to do something about that.
Exactly. Like his whole thing is it makes sense,
right?
But like in a crazy way.
Yeah. See, this is a very different Thanos than
I was going to try.
the comics.
He's not like a Doomsday where he just wants to kill everything, right? There's a little bit of
there's thought and logic.
Like in the comics, like I was saying, he's just purely obsessed with death, and they actually didn't even touch on that at all, which I was kind of surprised.
Too, yeah.
But he really had reasoning for his madness, and he's just basically obsessed with balancing the universe and by eradicating, half the population, if that's what it takes. He's just crazy Libra, if anything. It's all about balance.
I thought the CGI on Thanos was really, really good, by the way.
Oh, yeah. His emotions came through.
Yeah.
Roland was really good.
Oh, dude, he was so good.
So good.
You kind of forget you're staring at a big CGI character. Like his facial expressions just, said so much, and that's saying something for a big purple-looking raisin dude.
Yeah. With his weird chin.
What do we even discuss about all the good one-liners?
I had a problem with all that. I think there was too much of it at one point. Like once they introduced the Guardians, it was like, okay, we're gonna make this a joke fest for the next 20 minutes. And like some of them were great, but like we don't need to keep calling Rocket a rabbit. Like I get it. Like,
yeah, I kind of lost that one after the third or fourth.
I loved everyone.
Why are you talking like that?
I loved it.
My problem was
how come he never said anything? Because wouldn't he called?
Rocket?
Yeah,
He
wasn't he
didn't,
called
because
some
he
other
called-
freaking?
he doesn't really know what they are. He doesn't know what those
Because
things
he
are.
called him a captain.
He called him a captain first, so he
he was
didn't
just
care
fell in love
after
with
that.
him.
He was like, this guy is cool with me.
But
Yeah,
my problem with the Guardians was Drax is kind of just a punchline now.
He was invisible.
Yeah, for sure.
Hello?
Well, I know, but like
For an hour.
He just
in
comes
the
in for the
beginning
funny
when he's
one-liners.
introduced, like he's got this motivation to go kill Thanos because he killed his family at the very end of the first Guardians. Like it's Thanos I really mean to kill. And in this one, he doesn't really do anything. He just kind of gives out jokes, which are funny. Don't get me wrong, I like
He was
them,
trying to
but
go kill Thanos until she put him to sleep.
I just kind of wanted him to put more of a. I wanted him to get a few
Some
shots in
rage,
there,
you
something,
know?
shank him a
Hulk
couple
out.
times. Yeah, which we didn't get that.
Well, we
Yeah.
got it for 2 seconds
They've-
in the very beginning, and then Thanos put him down because he
Show
had the
you.
power ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Gani?
I was just going to say they've also kind of reduced, and I don't know if this is partly in fault of Thor, but they reduced Banner to like a jokester too. Like it, the prediction I think one of you guys made when we were first seeing the previews, of him being in the Hulkbuster suit and then turning into Hulk. I was so hoping that was going to happen to say like where his character was in this movie, but I was like, God damn it didn't happen. I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like I was pissed when it came to that. I was like, it's a fucking Hulk, man. Come
Kind of
on.
let down by
That's
that.
the first time.
I loved that they showed him get his ass whooped in the beginning, but then I wanted to see him redemption. Where's that at?
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
Second movie.
Remember in
wait for it, wait for it.
in Ragnarok, they're like Hulk is at like that adolescent age. Well, so maybe now he can
Like Groot.
experience fear when a grown man punches him in the face and breaks his nose.
I think that's exactly it. I think he was just genuinely afraid of Thanos because Thanos
Oh, yeah.
kicked the crap out of him in the very beginning.
That's what I was gonna say. Like in the comic books, he has this journey, separate or whatever from the Infinity War, where it's just Thanos collecting the gems, and when he has the stone from the place without even mentioning it. I was like, that's kind of like a Game of Thrones move. Like Jaime Lannister lost in a battle that we never see,
Right.
and I was like, yeah, they are not. We already know that they could barely fight against Ronan. What are they gonna do against Thanos?
True. Yeah.
So it was like they're an afterthought. That's what I took it as.
Right.
Hey,
What was your favorite part that they busted out in the movie that you hadn't seen or didn't expect?
Nice.
Yeah. One moment that I really genuinely loved. It's such a simple, quick moment though. But the battle at Wakanda when they initially lead the charge and the entire army's running, but then all of a sudden Black Panther and Captain just sprint out ahead of everybody leading the charge. That's just like, oh, dude, those are the guys you get behind. Like hell yeah, they're just like first in line, first about it. That's a king right there, just out there in the front of his men, just fighting. Like I just love that shot. That was so cool.
Love
Almost
Cap in
like they
this
were
movie.
racing. Yeah, Cap.
Yeah, I was like, I got there first.
Who wants the first blow, right?
Yeah.
I loved the Iron Spidey suit.
Yeah.
When it finally, grew the legs and it kind of saved him, and they did a couple of cool little rolls and stuff on Titan. I don't know. It was cool. It was a cool throwback to the comics there.
You notice how they
I'm a-
digitally removed it from the scene where he's kind of like swinging through the.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
exactly.
He would have them out at that part, and I was like, "Oh shit, they erased it. They're
Yes.
clever."
I think I mentioned that a couple times. I was like,
They
I
fucked
want to
with the
say that,
trailers.
like, yeah, he was like, they're erasing something. We're not seeing something. I'm like, I wonder if he has the
Did
legs.
they even use the shot of Thor with the hammer that we
Yep.
thought they had digitally removed the hammer from?
Yep, and they
That
did.
shot? They used it.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, they were clever. I was gonna say my favorite scene that stands out to me still because I didn't see this coming at all was seeing Red Skull.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that voice sounds so familiar.
You know
What
what?
the hell is that?
It was a
It was-
different voice actor.
It was a different guy altogether. It was
Yeah.
a guy from The
Different guy.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Ross Markin, I think is
Yeah,
his name.
Ross Mark
Oh,
one.
the person, this guy.
Plays Aaron on
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise and a good callback. We were just talking like, man,
Yeah.
what a waste of a character, Red Skull, and you're bringing
Yeah.
him back,
And
then
boom, there he
bam,
is.
like
I was like, oh no.
Totally didn't see that coming. It was a
Nah.
great surprise.
Good use
yeah.
of him too.
absolutely.
I think my favorite like scene was the very end where he just sits there because he's done.
Thanos in the throne,
Peace
giving
and
a
quiet.
little
Quiet.
smile.
And
Farmer
there's
Thanos.
just a smirk, and he's just
Farmer
staring out.
Thanos.
But I also didn't want them to have the after credit scene because it just takes away from
The moment.
that quiet moment. And I know they have to tease another Marvel movie.
Well,
coming.
honestly, I feel
Shocking.
like that was the ending, sort of. Like, I feel like you kind of needed that. Like, otherwise,
Otherwise,
I don't
we're
know.
just at this down negative
which,
moment.
like, I hear what you're saying
Supposed
too.
to be,
No, I hear
but
what you're saying,
half
but
the
like,
universe just vanished in a snap of a
But Eddie,
finger.
you gotta remember,
You can't
not
leave us without
everybody enjoys
hope.
playing Bloodborne like you do.
which, by the way, let's mention, for those that don't know, we all know who that was. That's Captain Marvel. That
the post-credit
that
scene.
yeah,
I
that
didn't
they're
know.
paging.
You got, Nick
Really?
Fury's got his little
I
space
had to
pager.
ask Sam. Yeah, I was like, who?
That's Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he's like, that's Captain Marvel. I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I don't know. That's not
Yeah,
who I
so
would be
that's-
thinking to save the world. So
Well, she is basically their Superman. She can pretty much do anything.
that's what I heard.
Yeah, so
Which is funny if because I heard they're gonna go back in time for her
it's
movie.
going to be in the
right?
Yes.
90s.
So,
It'll be in
the
so
90s.
the thing is, if Fury's had her pager the whole time, where the fuck has she been?
Right?
Well, he just paid you.
Civil
wait and
War.
find
She
out.
was like,
Ultron,
only if it's
you know.
really emergency, okay?
Well, to
Not
be-
like
yeah.
this petty
To
shit.
be fair, to be fair, if you read the Civil War comic, she's not really in those either.
Civil War
Yeah.
2.
Civil War 2. See, she's
Yeah.
in for the
She was in
sequel.
the
Well,
first
she's one of those
Civil War.
characters that can just like
Exactly.
deal with otherworldly things too. I guarantee she's out in like some cosmic, adventure
Secret
or something
Wars.
like that. Maybe,
I'm hoping they have a Black Panther style
House of M or
way of
Secret
introducing
Wars.
her to me because I don't know anything about her.
Well, yeah, her movie's coming out before the next Avengers, so you're gonna get her backstory, I think. 'Cause-
Yeah, because it's Ant-Man and Wasp, then her movie, and then we go back to the
Who's Ant-Man?
Oh yeah, he wasn't even in this one.
Yeah.
Ant-Man
So-
and Hawkeye.
That was
They
another
didn't make
thing
an
was
appearance.
that felt weak in the writing. Like just one
just
mention of
threw it
them.
out there.
They had family obligations. And then it was
they're on-
like-
they're
just
on
to
house
mention-
arrest or
yeah,
something.
The
house
end of the
arrest.
universe is about to happen. Please
Yeah.
excuse
Yeah,
them
sorry,
from
guys.
class.
right.
Well, I'd
Let's
say
not bring
that's
them
where
into
Ant-Man
this.
and the
They've got
Wasp is
family.
Is going to take place. I feel like that
Yeah.
their story is basically going to be after Civil War, leading up to this. Like maybe the end will be one of them disappearing, And as for Hawkeye, who knows?
He was too busy filming Tag.
Yeah, and, he's supposed to have a big role in the next Avengers movie as Ronin. So who knows?
Oh, nice. That's good then.
How about people that actually died? All right, since there was a couple.
Fine, I'm
start
taking
from
the
the
first
beginning?
one. I'm taking the first one.
So we got all right.
I'm
So right at
taking-
the beginning, we had Loki.
Loki, I was right. I called it.
Called that one because of the trailer.
No, I'm saying.
he did steal the Tesseract.
Well, I thought we were talking about which one affected us the most.
Oh, we'll
Which
get
one?
there. Let's
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Let's run them down real quick.
People that didn't just disappear.
Yeah,
We
the
got Gamora, died, thrown off the cliff. Right. Loki, Vision. He basically got the stone
He got
pulled out of
killed
his face.
twice.
Heimdall.
Poor bastard.
Heimdall
Oh,
got a sword in the
Heimdall.
chest.
Pretty much
right?
all of Asgard is
Oh
gone.
yeah,
On Asgard.
Ragnarok happened.
which-
There's
It
only
just
one
happened
person
a
left.
We
couple
never
weeks
saw
later.
Valkyrie.
Yeah, Valkyrie and also Lady. She's part of the crew.
Oh, Lady
She
Sif.
died.
Lady Sif.
She died in
Sif.
Ragnarok.
No, she actually never appeared.
She never appeared.
They killed the Warriors 3, but she was vacant.
Exactly.
Not there for
Wasn't
some
she
reason.
one of them that got stabbed in the very beginning?
Nope.
No, that was two of the Warriors 3. But yeah, Valkyrie was missing in Korg.
Yep.
What happened to that guy?
And then also, who actually died? All the Black Order.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Honestly,
I thought
okay.
they're gonna fight stronger, dude.
I loved Ebony Maw. I thought
Yeah.
he was great. He was really just an interesting character. I love his psychotic, like over religious kind of like
Yeah.
delivery to everything. But I just feel like they all went down like kind of like chumps.
A little
I was
bit.
really like let down, especially Black Dwarf.
Yes.
The fact that he I'm sorry, Cole Obsidian.
I was like, ooh.
He just
The Space Hulk.
yeah, the big exactly. Nobody was given any names really.
Yeah, they never really.
But yeah, he just kind of went out like a chump. He just kind of flew up into the shield and blew up. I'm like, that's where I wanted Hulk to come out. I wanted Hulk to burst
To
out of that
battle
suit
them?
and beat the crap out of that dude. But that didn't happen. And then the other two, like, what's her face? Proxima Midnight. Like, she was cool throughout, but if you blinked, you literally would have missed her disappear and die.
Yep.
Like, for a second, I'm like, did she just die? Like, I totally missed that.
Especially after last week when you were talking about that, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome."
I know, dude. I was super psyched
Like,
about
they
that.
did come in and put down the law, right, for
Yeah.
a minute. Strange got tortured, and that was a cool scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did all kind of go out. And
real
then
simple.
and then a lot of heroes disappeared. Obviously, the one that hit us the most, well, me anyway, Spider-Man. Wow,
Spidey.
just
That line-
crying to Tony.
that
You know,
line
I don't want
alone,
to die
dude.
yet. You know, oh my god, I think it's
I
like,
don't
oh my
feel, I
god.
don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
It hit me in
Like
the
me
dad
in theater, I'm
button.
like, nope.
Oh yeah, Sam was.
Don't do it.
I don't want to.
Oh no, it's.
It
I
was-
cried. I
he
cried
was-
multiple
But
times.
he was
you
weeping.
can't do a move like that when you know you've already announced that there's a second Spider-Man coming. Like, it doesn't.
I know,
Okay.
but I gave myself to
Well,
this.
It lends
you put
it lends
yourself in
itself
a
to
movie,
meaning
God.
nothing. Like, it doesn't.
Well,
Give
here's
it-
the thing about that. So, like, I feel like we're kind of to blame for not being able to enjoy things like that. Like I said it before in the past with Black Panther, like when I watched that movie, I loved it, but I never for a minute thought that he was truly in danger because I just saw the Infinity War trailer and he looks pretty damn good there. So I'm like, obviously he's going to walk out of this just fine. And again, here, we all know that Spider-Man's filming this summer. So obviously we're going to get Peter Parker back. Black Panther's all but guaranteed to have a sequel. So of course they're coming back.
Yeah, you always have to put yourself in the whatever story
Right.
you're in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like when I go buy a book and I see 7 other books, I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about anything that's happening in this book. That's not how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's-
I was in the moment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoyed
Even
being-
knowing that information, like, and like obviously Black Panther is the one that makes you go like, oh, of course he's going to be all right. But when it happened, I was like, oh shit! I audibly gasped like when that happened. I was like
Right.
really surprised that they pulled the trigger on him.
Just like the grasp of everyone when they saw Tony get stabbed by his own blade.
oh yeah.
I thought
That
for a second
theater
that was
we were
gonna be
in,
him.
dude, you can hear everybody gasp at the same time. Like,
Yeah. But again, like I was saying though, like you got to kind of put yourself in the moment and just experience the movie and not worry about the pre-production shit because like we're the type of crew that will, oh, what the fuck, Tom Holland's fucking filming something over here. What does that mean? When we do all our research and we got to figure it out. We got to know. But you think about the general audience, the normal people that just watch trailers and watch the movies for what they are, and the kids that don't look up this information. They just saw Spider-Man die. They just fucking saw all their favorite heroes die and not have a resolution to that. So that's some pretty
all
epic,
dissipate.
fucked up shit. So I put myself in that position and like I got emotionally choked when I saw some of those moments, even though I knew they're obviously all coming back in the next Avengers.
See, the thing is, now we just get to theorize how they get to come back. Like, where are the Dragon Balls? What's the deal?
I think they could probably just chop off Thanos' arm if they could get close.
That's
to
what I
it.
was gonna say.
Well,
is,
did the gauntlet
anyone
not get
notice?
destroyed?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is in the comics and in the animated movies, they always eventually get the glove off of him, right?
Yes.
This one kind of like looked like it
It
fused
burnt
to
onto
his
him.
arm when he
'Cause
used it.
There's a scar on his neck when he's sitting at the very end. Like the whole left side body is damaged from activating
Yeah.
the gauntlet itself.
So,
Which they were so close to getting off, but thanks to Peter Quill,
Yeah, that's
a little hot-tempered.
So everybody, I'm like, at the end of the day, in
was
this
his
movie,
fault, right?
it's his fault. But he's already eliminated, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's gone. Half the Guardian, well, all the Guardians are gone basically,
Yeah,
except,
except
for
for Rocket.
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Sorry.
and one of them can't
And
come
her
back
sister.
from the Dragon Balls.
Oh, yeah.
She died before.
What was I gonna say? Well, one of the things that I like people were complaining about was like, yeah, Peter Quill basically dooming everybody. I feel like that was supposed to happen because at that point, Doctor Strange had that vision. He had like what 14
I was
million
gonna
like
get to that.
outcomes or whatever,
Yep.
and people are wondering like, why did you just hand over the time stone? Well, there's
Oh, yeah.
one way, and that was
Do
the
you
way.
think that's? Yeah,
I think that's exactly
that was
what
my
he wanted.
question to you guys. Is that like why he gave up the stone? Is
Yeah.
that,
Oh, 100%.
So
So
the
there-
only way was to let this happen.
Out of the 14 million, how many times does he give up the stone though?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe it was just the one.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What do you think,
they're
Gagne?
gonna fight to the death every other way, for that stone.
At that point, I was kind of like more focused on the Iron Man fighting with him and what they were going to do with that. I didn't really take
Question.
what he was. Yeah, I didn't really question that. I loved the there's only one way, and maybe he thought that was it.
Maybe
I don't
that
know.
was it. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
so And I had no problem with him having the time stone and reversing. I thought that was really cool what they did with Vision and how it made it equally as brutal. Like I'm not saying there weren't deaths that lent themselves to emotion. Loki's death was brutal too. Like it was just like to start a movie like that. Like he's a fun character, especially after the last Thor. Like
fan favorite, but he's died before.
Right.
Not like this.
Not like that. Like that was brutal to watch. Like for a PG-13, comic book movie, like that was rough to see. I felt so was the Vision one, except he's a robot, so it's kind of like, well,
right. So you can write that off.
That's just cruel, though, man. To have her love, her
Die
just
twice.
destroy, the thing that she loves,
Scarlet Witch,
and then for all of a sudden to be brought back and then to be destroyed again in front of you, like
they had some cool uses of the individual stones. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
the reality stone where they were on Titan, where he kind of like showed him the past, vision of the world. And,
oh, dude, where he like dismembered the Guardians. Drax and
Yeah,
Mantis. I thought they killed him for a second. I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah,
He
that's
just
what I
broke
thought
up
too.
Drax.
Like,
but-
lucky they went back together.
Yeah, that's actually ripped right out of the comic. So he does that to a couple characters. I forget who, but
yeah.
it was sweet.
yeah, he does that with the Reality Stone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then with the reality stone, I think when Gamora stabbed him and killed him.
Oh yeah,
and
all the
then
false illusions.
that
Yeah,
was kind of cool.
Mhm.
What's the name of the Iron Man suit they used in this?
The bleeding edge suit.
It's the one with the nanotechnology,
The
right?
nanotech inside.
That
the
was
little
just
chest
beautiful.
armor. Yeah, I like that a lot.
So
It
cool.
was such a great concept, dude. Seeing that blew my mind.
That
so
battle
much.
with Thanos and him just was on Titan and just beautiful, the way the purple and the reds and the oranges, like just it looked like you were literally like watching a moving comic book. I mean, there was some amazing effects in this movie.
Oh, dude.
without a doubt.
The fact that Thanos threw a planet at him.
a moon.
Yeah, dude.
A moon.
Yeah.
If you
Next time you
another
throw a moon at me,
Yeah, that shot was amazing. And then when Doctor Strange did his crazy like yoga stuff, where he just made multiple copies of himself,
That
and
was
like,
in there.
oh,
That was
dude,
cool.
No, that was good too.
Images.
that was sick.
I love their interaction.
The
Doctor
team
Strange
ups,
and
like
Iron
when
Man.
Doctor Strange was putting out the little platforms for Peter
Yeah.
Quill to run up and
Dude,
Oh,
that
yeah,
shit
yeah.
was sick.
yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I'm
that
trying to
movie
think.
was so
No,
epic.
the part that caught me off guard was Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
that was
I was
weird.
like, whoa.
If there was any kind of weird CG, maybe that was
Yeah,
it.
that one was
Um,
I'm not trying to make it because he's a little person, but it was just really weird seeing such a big version of him on there.
he was basically a giant dwarf.
Yeah, that's
Um,
exactly what he was.
Yeah, he was basically like the armorer,
Yeah.
I guess.
He was a
of
smith,
the gods or
um,
something. Smith. Yeah,
Well, he's
he
like
was-
a king of the dwarves is his title. I guess he's an actual dwarf. But
yeah, exactly.
yeah, I don't
But
really
he
know
was-
much about this character at all. But I guess he's sort of a big deal in the comics. He is the one that forges a lot of these weapons.
Which I wanted to say the new axe that Thor had was Stormbreaker, which was actually Beta Ray Bill's hammer, which is a copy of Mjolnir. So in that case, does Groot is he
is he worthy?
is he worthy because he picked up the hammer, right, put it together.
Oh, snap.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
That is correct.
Interesting.
Was it
right?
enchanted at that point? Is there some?
I
Is
don't
there
know.
another step?
I don't know. It's a good question.
This
Right?
is science of Asgardians, my God.
It wasn't yet,
It's
I
like a
guess,
tree,
because
right? So it doesn't count.
he was just making a handle. We're reading too much into this.
Putting that thing together.
If he places the hammer on a tree, like the tree doesn't just come down, right?
If you put the hammer in an elevator and it goes up, right? Is the elevator worthy?
I think the funny part too was what's it called, like just the whole worthiness, right? So technically Groot faded away, but the hammer axe is still with Thor.
That would
And
be interesting. Did
is
the
Groot-
handle
Groot still
disappear
alive?
too, right?
Like, is Groot still alive? Then can Groot regrow from that hammer now? The handle?
Maybe he'll regrow into an actually
I'm
cool
just-
Groot because this
just-
teenager is terrible.
Most teenagers
I
are.
mean, yeah, you weren't. None of us were great people when we were teenagers. So
Speak for yourself.
I love how they're all like, Groot, stop playing your video game.
Defenders.
Focus.
I love it.
yeah, the whole what you got, Peter Quill and Thor, their interactions, his insecurities
Oh
like, towards
my God.
Thor was just hilarious.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good.
That was pretty funny.
Why are you talking like that now?
Did you stop massaging his muscles?
Why is your voice deeper? No. This is how I talk.
Okay, guys, I'll get a bow
It was,
flex.
it
I'll
was a
commit.
good combination of comedy and action
Yeah.
where I think Thor and Spider-Man and some of the new ones like Star Wars have just too much forced comedy. This one seemed to be a perfect balance of everything.
Forced comedy in a Star Wars movie.
You said Spider-Man's comedy was forced?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Go back
I mean-
and watch this millennial Spider-Man and his friends.
I love
I did, and at least those jokes were original. They recycled a lot of stuff from, jokes from previous movies in this one, and so I would argue that they're kind of made in the same vein.
There was a Squidward joke that deserves an Academy Award.
Kevin,
Or also the Grimace joke.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, let's go. Let's talk about everybody that died real quick. So at the very end, let's go through the list. So, oops, sorry, dog.
I thought that was my child.
Let's go through the list of who evaporated now. It was a long list.
Okay,
Where do we
so
start?
I had mixed emotions when Black Panther was dying because at first I thought it was a general that was disappearing, and I was like, no. And then he disappeared, and then I was like, no, take her.
Anyways, so you guys want to talk predictions? What do we think that's coming next?
Well, all right. So let's go over who else died. So
Oh,
I
sorry.
think I got a list anyway. So Black Panther, you got Bucky and Falcon. So both Cap's best friends and who we thought would take Cap's shield, gone. Star-Lord, Drax, Groot, Mantis, basically all of the Guardians. We got Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. We got Scarlet Witch. And then we have at the end Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
Doctor Strange made his sacrifice made more powerful by the fact that he knows that he's going to be one of the people that's going to disappear.
Makes him more gangster.
Right.
Right.
He just casually
If
says
that was the plan.
It's the only way.
Right.
I feel like I think he probably told Tony more detail of what to do after he died. Like, this is how it's supposed to play out.
The way that Tony was reacting to everybody going out, I'd highly doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's
You
just
know?
kind of making him trust him at this point. But yeah, no.
Basically, everybody around Tony went, right? Doctor Strange.
The only person that survived was Nebula.
Spider-Man.
That's it.
No,
Nebula.
Nebula's still
Nebula.
alive.
See, I'm thinking that in the next movie, him and Nebula are going to try and make it back to Earth.
Yeah.
That's going to be their goal. And try to see who's left.
She's the only one that could fly one of those ships.
Yep.
Okay, so I kind of got a prediction. So I was trying to think, like, how is everybody going to come back? So they really emphasize a lot on the Soul Stone, as far as sacrificing to get a return and all that stuff, and that's how Gamora went out. I'm wondering if that's going to come into play as far as bringing back some of these characters, because if we notice who's still alive, the original Avengers, these guys are supposed to be gone. These are the ones we're all bidding that, these are the ones going to be, going out.
So you think a lot of self-sacrifice here going on?
Yeah, because you can kind of pair some of them off. Like, why wouldn't
Cap
Tony
will save
Stark
Bucky
sacrifice
and-
himself to, save Spider-Man, especially being the father mentor to him? Well, here's
Or
the decision
Falcon.
with Cap with Falcon
Yeah.
and Bucky. Who's going to be the next captain? Like, what if Nebula tries to get back Gamora? Because it kind of looked like they're trapped in this, like a soul world at the very end. After Thanos does a snap, he's visiting baby Gamora again. So, like, maybe there is a physical world that they can enter, and maybe that's where everybody's stuck. I don't feel like, everybody's dead technically, but I feel like maybe their souls are trapped.
Well,
Maybe
they did
that's what
do
we
a
saw.
physical world for where the Soul Stone was.
Right, exactly.
So,
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, they could make it, they all kind of disappeared and reappeared onto some sort of like, what do you call it, in between world?
Yeah,
or
some
whatever.
sort of limbo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was also kind of thinking to another wild prediction, but I think there's a slight chance we might see Vision again. If you guys saw when he died, he sort of was drained of his color. He was all white, his like grayish sort of tones. There's a version of Vision like that in the comics where he's completely like all white. He's sort of rebuilt again. And then also, Shuri did have him on her table for a while.
Yeah.
She was kind of going
I figured
through.
she might have a backup of him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she has all of his schematics. And if there's any place that can rebuild him, that's in
But-
Wakanda.
Where did Shuri go? She got blasted out of a window, and we don't know if she disappeared or not.
Hey, she ain't dead. She's coming back.
Well, thanks to that plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get in the movie. God, in the moment.
I know, everyone yelling at me.
Well,
God.
technically, she flew out the window, but onto the second floor. So she
Hey.
didn't go far.
We didn't see a
She's
body.
human.
in her
we
office.
didn't see no second floor.
Dude, when she fell
She's fine.
out, she fell out.
She
Like,
fell off and disappeared.
facility.
She's gone, all right?
She landed in her sneakers.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up. What do we think? Anything else?
I'll watch it again. I love it.
Yeah,
I
you
need
want
to
to watch
see
it
it like
again?
3 more times. It had the feeling of like Star Wars when you're watching a good Star Wars movie. It had that feeling for me, so I definitely want to see it like at least 2 more times in theaters.
Well, it made $250 million, new record, because people are going to watch it again.
Nice.
We're going to
Yeah.
do that.
I'm gonna see it a couple more times. Yeah, overall, like I kind of feel this has like an Empire Strikes Back, almost Back to the Future 2 kind of vibe, where it sort of ends on a sort of melancholy note, but with
Yes.
a glimmer of hope.
Yes.
So like this is obviously a 2-parter. They've definitely marketed this as a, just a beginning, middle, end, closing one story, which kind of is from Thanos' perspective, but this is definitely a 2-parter. So I'm excited to see, how this wraps up in the end and how they're gonna stop him.
Kind of curious what the name is of the next Avengers, considering that they needed to keep it under wraps because it was
it
going to
could
be
be
a
possible spoiler. Yeah.
So
You never know. Did you hear that they're getting sued over the Infinity War title?
really,
Why?
Yeah, I didn't read the whole article, but it was something that happened to do with the war in the Middle East being the long, type war, and they're getting sued over
God.
the name.
What?
I didn't know the details, but
Get
it's
over yourself.
How does Call of Duty not get
Exactly
sued
right,
for
for-
all the fucking
for
things
the-
that they've
for
taken?
the-
You can't take the Vietnam War. Why not?
basically people are out there now going, Disney's got all the money. We could probably get like a chunk of
How do we
change.
get a piece of that pie? Disney is king right now.
Oh yeah, did you guys want to do your top 3 Marvel movies real quick? Go around.
Oh yeah, let's
Let's see how we start fighting about this. Yes, let's do it.
Avengers, Guardians, Black Panther.
Avengers 1.
No. This one.
Oh, really?
Infinity War. Yeah.
I have my rhymes and reasons. So for my 3, the first one will always be Iron Man, because when it first came out, that magic, it was groundbreaking.
classic.
It just, so much has happened, and you're like, wow, this is so good. And then the second one I wrote down was number 2 would definitely be Winter Soldier, because the first time we're introduced to that style of a movie by the Russo brothers, where it's captivating. The storyline is just constantly keeping you guessing what's going on, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. You get the ultimate betrayal, the delivery of the storyline, and this is cinematics, the way it's shot. It was really amazing. And then for a third, I put down Infinity Wars.
Very good. For me, number 1, the Infinity War. This one just had everything. Number 2, Civil War. I just really like the concept of them coming and fighting each other. And then Iron Man, the original. Just, being the first and, starting this whole thing out. So, yeah.
What about you, Gagne? What you got?
Civil War, because I think they just first time they really had to blend new characters and old characters, and the making it tense with your heroes going against each other. It holds up so well, especially for that introduction of Black Panther. It was one of my favorites to Marvel. Guardians is like a 10 for me from top to bottom. It's just thoroughly rewatchable, enjoyable, perfect in every aspect. And then I think last I'd probably say Thor Ragnarok.
Really?
Interesting.
I almost chose that instead of Black Panther.
All right, so for me, it's Civil War number 1 still. This really sucks.
How do you make me choose?
Yeah, I think 2, I might go the original Iron Man, and 3, I'm still, because it's so fresh. I don't know if I can put it at number 3, but it's really a toss up between the original Avengers and then Infinity War, kind of. But that could
So
change.
what's
I don't
tipping?
know.
What's tipping the scale?
The fact that he just saw this.
I didn't leave depressed when I saw the other movie.
Dude, there was 4 people that clapped at the end of the movie.
I know that.
I know, dude, it was sort of an awkward
We're
silence.
we don't even know what to do.
Yeah, it's
That-
like,
did
And
this
this is
just
from-
happened?
Our crowd was cheering every time a hero showed up at the nick of time. When Thor showed up, everyone in the whole theater cheered and clapped. And then at the end of the movie, just dead silence.
yeah, it was kind of an awkward, should we clap? That was good, but I don't know how I feel.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
Everybody
A
was
couple
what
people were
just
like, hey,
happened?
it was a good theatrical thing.
Yes. Gotta love it.
It was almost like Old Man Logan. There was 0 claps.
Kind of.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was so dead silent.
There's all
walking to Old
manly
Man
tears in there.
There was nothing manly
all-
about
it was
it.
all
Got
the
something
man
in both
crying.
my eyes.
I was like, Logan.
This is all the men crying.
So good.
But let's be real, Deadpool's the best MCU movie.
All right, troll.
I like the list. I like how everyone's list is a little bit different. So
Subject
you're
to
still
change.
stuck between
Still torn, man.
Still
I mean,
torn.
like, and I've watched a lot of them like recently, like just in the past few months. So like, they're all fresh in my head right now. So it's really hard to pick. Honestly, they're all so much fun. They're all so different in their own way too. But yeah, something about Infinity War, like you can point out its faults, but there's just something special about it to finally get all these characters on here and just to see shit that I never thought I would ever see. I never thought I would see a live action version of the Infinity Gauntlet. That's nuts. The fact that exists, that's amazing.
To see Hulk and Thanos fist to fist, I'm like,
yeah,
man,
just to
as
see
a kid,
the
like,
snap
dream
happen,
about it.
dude. That happened in a movie. That exists. That's a thing now.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
so
the
many
nerd
great
in me
things,
is
man,
happy.
dude. Like
Yeah.
so many iconic shots. I mean, I can't wait to get screensavers of all these things.
Every time he came out of a portal, I kind of like
I
sat
agree.
up straight. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Daddy's home.
Just look badass.
Yeah, dude. Talk about this all day, dude. Like, I got to point out another favorite moment real quick. Dude, when Bucky picked up a rocket and he did the little twirl with him.
Oh,
dude,
yes.
great. Loved it.
And he made a joke about the arm.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, how much is that gun? How much is that arm?
I'm getting
times
that
all
arm.
around.
That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Fun stuff.
All right. Do we have any other spoilers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go watch the dang movie.
Just watch it again.
Why?
Yeah, why? Spider-Man.
Daddy's coming back. He's got another movie. How crazy would it be, though, if the next Spider-Man movie was just Miles Morales? It's like, fuck you, he's dead.
That wouldn't go well.
That'd be heartbreaking.
So good. All right, so that's it for the show, guys. We enjoyed watching that movie a lot. We're gonna go see it again. You should as well. Obviously, check us out next week. We're basically on all the podcast apps: Podbean, Google Play, all that good stuff. Guys,
Go watch it.
Watch it.
And if
Thanos
listen to
demands
all
you
this-
watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
So last episode, we'll talk about this for a while.
Marvel and Disney needs your money. All right, so
Don't make the
No, they
Mad
don't.
Titan mad.
the Mad Titan might throw a moon on you.
Poor little Disney.
Yeah, go support Disney and
Yeah, it's a
Marvel.
little upcoming
Hey.
company.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Go throw him a buck.
Might not have
It's a
heard
little
of it.
indie company.
As
Might
in
heard of
house.
Thanks everybody for listening.
And have a good night, folks. Yes.
Bye.
Awkward bye.
And
Wow.